about the DNA of where Brabham come from and where Goodyear come from, you know, and why the partnership works so well. It's about performance, it's about both pushing all the time to bring the best product that we can to the customer.
Okay, just heading out of the pit lane now, assessing the conditions as I drive out onto the pits. Looking at the water on the track. Definitely going to be testing these Goodyears.
With Brabham, it's a really unique partnership. You know, we have to get a vehicle model and get an understanding of how the car's going to work with the tyres, and at the same time develop the tyres to make sure that people like David can really give it the most when it's out on a racetrack.
Feeling the grip under brakes, turning into the apex, feeling that consistency, feeling the compound, the construction, see, that gives you the confidence to get on the throttle. That feedback of that grip all the way through the corner. Feeling at one with the car, connected to the ground. If you don't feel that, you're just not going to actually get a really good driving experience. I feel so connected to the ground that this is really what I'm looking for.
Now, when we talk about tyres and things, obviously we were back on track a few months ago at Brands Hatch. Tell us about how that went and the overall reaction to being back racing.
Well, it felt very good. You know, when we launched the Brabham BT62, it was a track car, and then customers came to us and said, "Look, can we race it?" So we thought, well, we better go and do a race ourselves. So obviously we spoke to Goodyear about our plans and ambitions, and arrived at Brands Hatch, and it was a very cold, wintry day, but ultimately we crossed the line first. I was in the car at the time, and I have to say it was very emotional for me because my dad had done it in 1966 with a car of his own name. For me to do that with a Brabham was very, very special.
Yeah, I mean, if I think from a Goodyear perspective for a moment, almost going full circle back to '66 when we were winning in Formula One, same year we were winning at Le Mans, fast forward almost 60 years now, to be winning again is fantastic, and I think hopefully it's the first of many to come.
Absolutely. It was a great result for everyone involved, including our partners Goodyear, to be able to deliver that result first time out. It was a big tick in the box, and it really set the scene for us moving forward.
So David, tell me a little bit about the differences between the 62 and the 62R.
Yeah, not a huge amount, to be fair, and that's the point. We wanted to take the most dynamic track car and put it onto the road. But there are some subtle differences. Some of the aerodynamics has changed a little bit, from the front split to the rear diffusion. The rear wing is a little bit smaller. We've got lifters front and rear to make the ride heights come up and down at choice, with 4 different levels, and the interior, some subtle differences for the road, but there is a difference about tyres, so maybe you could tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, really when we're developing tyres bespoke for a race car, obviously they're competition spec, fully developed specifically for the handling characteristics and the dynamics of that car. When we then translate that across onto the 62R, the tyres may look a little bit different, but actually there's a lot that's very similar.
Yeah, so we have the Super Sport R and the Super Sport RS, and it gives us a full broad span of the true enthusiast down to the general user, but you still get that level of performance across the full range.
In terms of Goodyear and Brabham, I think they're two iconic brands. If you look at racing, it's part of each brand's DNA. I think they're very driven companies, very technologically minded, always looking for innovation, so perfect platform for the two brands to work together.